Hey guys, welcome back. It's Limitless here. So I know I've been gone a little while. I wanted to go ahead and get a strategy ready for you guys. So you can see here, we're on floor 96. So before I get into it, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe. Otherwise, you will never find or roll a Tenacity 10. It's just not going to happen. Anyway guys, so I'll show you what we've got going here. We've got the front line, we're on floor 96, an onslaught. We've got Air Raid, Dreadbone's Horde, Psyguard Throwers, Stabby Kamikaze, and Sparks and Shield. So for this strat, you need 4 for the basic land lanes. There's 4 things, and then there's 2 possible things that you could use together or switch between or whatever for the air, and I'll show you about that in a second here. So one thing, we're going to go ahead and use the Mage, the Apprentice. Basic character, really OP tower, 7.34 mil, and this is not a maxed out C8. It used to be, and it was 8.5 mil, and that's when my level was lower than this. So we're gonna also go ahead and use our boost aura. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that down. Now I'll show you guys this as I do it, I guess. So Earth Shatter, use Gilded Earth Toss, Mass Destruction, and Destruction. On it, I've got max Shatterquake, almost max anti-melee and defense rate, so this isn't the best it could be, and it'll still, you know, do some damage. Boost Aura. I actually took this from another thing, because I wasn't sure how I want to do it, so I actually have to replace that Storm Servo. And I'm thinking I want to go extra range on it. I was kind of torn between that and doing the damage on it. So I'm thinking I might try the damage first, see how it goes, and then maybe switch to range. But it'll work as we have it right now. We've got our Gilded Boosted Grasp, Destructive Pylon, and Vicious Strikes. Destructive Pylon is really just to buff one thing, but it has the potential to buff another, and I'll show you what I mean. So in a lot of areas, you'll have enough DU that you can not just put that down, and what I'm using on that right there, max defense rate, pretty good anti-melee, max tenacity, vicious strikes, destruction, gilded, shattering torpedo. I don't have that gilded yet, but I will. But I wanted to show you this before we got too far. So the thing I mean, the other thing, is the flame ward. You can seat this right inside here and get that extra DPS when you have that extra DU. And on that, I'm using Destro, Vampiric Empowerment, Deadly Strikes, and then Defense Rate, Fairy Anti-Chaos, near max anti-melee. And there's one more thing that we need for this right here. I tend to just switch out this slot right now. Let's see. There he is. The Abyss Lord. He's going to be using one of my favorite defenses. We can just kind of set it there. So I'm gonna show you that, and then I'm gonna explain how this works. We've got our mass destruction, our deadly strikes, gilded. Now on it, we've got poison servo. Yes, it works with Ramster. We've got anti-melee, almost max. That's great, and max defense rate. Fantastic. So how this works here is that the reflect beam and the earth shatter both do earth. This doesn't do any damage, it does a massive slow, and it will later do some damage. And then this right here, it does poison. So that way, anytime either of the first two I mentioned do damage, in combination with this, they get petrified. And on top of that, with the tenacity, this thing stands at the ready, blocking all projectiles that can't be shut down. So it protects the other defenses and does its own damage. As you saw, it was like over 500k DPS. Alright, we got our Dreadbones here. Now we've got 900. And the basic build for this, since there's 3 normal lanes, would be, well, there's one irregular lane, I guess, because this one's a double lane. But yeah, so it would be 600. And I'll let you guys see how well this works, but we're gonna sit on the middle lane with our main heroes. I've got Barbarian, which is, you know, working towards 3 mil health again. And I've got, you know, the nuke monk right now. Alright, so we've got that. We're gonna go ahead and switch this out again. So yeah, I've been working to get this build ready for you guys, and I actually like where it's at right now. It's obviously not finished, but I like where it's at. It's pretty neat. I've been able to beat things pretty well, haven't really had any issues. I try to get it so the tracing on it that shows you their route will go right through the defenses. Gives you your highest chance of being able to hit them with everything. And honestly, I've considered more range on the Ramster, but I can get it to work as it is, so I'm fairly happy with it. Now, I mentioned two of their defenses. One of them is the Flame Aura, which I've already shown you. And I'll show you a little bit more. It's got 15-20 range and, you know, 830k DPS just about. And now with the boost aura as it is, I'll show you the boosted value too. Nope, that's not it. There it is. 1.33 mil, so it's almost like I have a Destro stack on there. I think my normal with Destro stack is like 1.41, so it's pretty close. So you can do that for flyers, or you can bring out one of these guys, which Skyguard Tower, I'm using Destro, Deadly Strikes, Vampiric Empowerment. Because sometimes you just don't always need all that range. In this, you actually could use the range, but that's whatever. Using Water Servo, max anti-support, max defense rate. And how I usually like to do this is space them far enough apart that one kamikaze can't kill them both. Oh shoot. I'm building the wrong monk. I was like, wait a second, they don't look like that. See, they look drastically different. There we go. And so with that, that still gives me enough that I can put a Flame Aura on every lane. And I have 10 DU left. So right there you can see 5700 range on the dot, 5.43 mil, it's 543. So it's pretty good. In this case, I'd probably leave him on just to replace these if something happens, which it could. So from here you've got your option of Flame Aura on each lane, which would cost you 90, or you could do a Boost Aura on each set of these and get more damage. But I think I'll leave it as it is for right now and just see how the first one goes. Because I kind of want to show you guys the strat when it's uncorrupted, so to speak. You know, those guys are headstrong. They can't be stopped by stunning. These guys can be. There's our Dreadbones. I'm curious how the flyer lane's gonna go too. Dreadbones is having trouble just getting out. And of course I could help the flyers, but it's nice knowing that I could run off and they can handle it without me, so. And you see that hit range? How it starts hitting right now rather than pretty much at spawn is why I say on this map you could use the extra range on it. But yeah, so there we go. It was actually pretty easy. Having a bad day, bud. So yeah, I have basically 4 defenses protecting this, and only 3 of them do damage right now. The 4th one will be doing damage later, so you can just do the whole usual thing of come in here and upgrade. But what I've found so far in Onslaught, I'm not super far in, I'm just on 96, which isn't that crazy. But considering that I've been reclimbing it with this strat is kind of fun. And usually what I do, I don't usually upgrade the main 4 defenses. Now obviously there'll come time much later when I have to, but for right now I just haven't felt that urgency, so it's been pretty easy, so. As you can see, there's a lot of petrifying and DPS going on before they even reach my, excuse me, before they even reach my reflect beam. So it's pretty impressive. It's nice and simple. There's only, you know, what, one thing here that isn't the normal heroes. No, I take that back, there's 2. Because EV2's not either. But most people go ahead and get EV2 right off the bat. So it's really just the Abyss Lord that would probably be the issue. But I've always loved the Abyss Lord for a lot of reasons. So this is just one way to include him into the fun. Now, I will show you guys something else too. Shush, Mom. Alright, so, the other thing I wanted to show you, I need to switch to my Abyss Lord to show you that. That's right, I'm only using one Abyss Lord right now. So, the Skeletal Ramster, if you're finding that your DPS is too low, or, you know, you just can't get the procs right then when you need them, then you can go ahead and direct command it at any time. And it'll start doing, you know, a big flurry of poisonous damage. And that covers its range really well. It's just that right now, it's not going to be doing high DPS because I think he's still in campaign gear. But you can see, it's keeping him in there really, really well. And so after this wave, I will show you what he's got on. Because I think I have him on an ability power build, which is fantastic. He's just campaign gear. So it's not going to be helping, like, at all. But there's something really, really important about his build if you want to use this for the alternate fire and skeletal ramster. And I'll have to show you what that is, because it's actually really cool. Oh, we lost the Sky Guard. And that's why I put 2 separately like that. So I don't have to buff them or whatever, so. But yeah, that's what we'll do. I'll put it back down and then we'll buff them with the boost aura so you can see how strong they get. Just to show you guys some extra options, but another option is, if you don't want to use these, all you got is flame auras. How I used to do it, I would put a flame aura, when I can move properly, right about there. And then for good measure, I'd put one down here, and I'd put one right about there. So that's not a bad way to go with it. So first things first, we're going to show off the Abyss Lord here. Obviously, nothing's too great about it, but it is all ability power, so the main thing to notice is that I haven't done great work on this set because I think I transferred that over to him. Yeah. You can see that one's looking much better. But yeah. You can see that the secondary ability power stat, 533, 534, 529, 532, these will all be around 9700 when you level them up to to max C7. And then of course there's this little monster here. The big thing on it is the echoing command chip. It says plus 7 seconds to direct command duration on skeletal orcs, ramster, and archers. So that's everything except for the Colossus. And that as you level it up, it gets much better. Let's see if I can show you that or not. Just to kind of prove the point. Oh, wrong thing. There we go. So you can see, just going up to Chaos 1, it would move up 1 second on the command. So honestly, one of the things you can do with Ramster, which I've shown off in the past, but I can't show it off right now because I don't have the ability power ready. If you have just pure ability power, you can basically just put a nice poison servo on it and then hammer it with the direct command, and it'll do damage based on your ability power rather than what's on it. So that gets pretty crazy. It's nice, it's fun. It's awesome to look at, let's be honest. Okay, I realize I put that a little bit closer. So now, we're going to go ahead and grab our boost auras, because we just don't need the flame auras in here right now. Whoop, what am I doing? There we go. You can see that's nicely within range. I could even space it out a little bit more, just to show you. And in all honesty, I probably should. I think that'll catch them both. Yep. So they'll get the boost aura benefit, and they'll get the destructive pylon benefit. Was 5.43, now it's 10.6 mil. Let's see, stage 1, 5.43. Oh wait, this one's the stage 1. Sorry. Oh my gosh. I used the wrong one. Didn't I? Pretty sure I did. Let's go ahead and fix that. Yep. 6.29, and then it settles in at the destructive pylon to 8.68 mil at tier 1. That's pretty sick. Let's just go ahead and use 50 to buff it. If you want to see maxed out, we'll go ahead and do it maxed out for you. And that's 16.7 mil at tier 5. Which is pretty awesome, let's be honest about that. Because I'm not using Boost Aura for its maximum benefit for other things. I'm using it mainly for a little buff, but a big slow. That way, in this build, we've got both a big slow and we've got a big stun. So, in some cases, both will end up taking effect. Like with Siege Rollers, it does work. Now, it won't do great damage to Siege Rollers, but obviously it gives you time to get behind them and do the job. So. And then of course with this, if you had your setup, which I don't really have mine set up right now, but you could use a lightning strike somewhere if you felt you needed it. You still have 20 left. So you can see this build can actually be pretty versatile. It can handle a lot of things. It's got a lot of prep. There we go. Get out of here. And one of the reasons why I like the Barbarian, I'll run around this room for a bit just to show you. There we go, perfect timing. If you shield up, turtle stance, Dark Assassins can't grab you. They usually announce themselves, sometimes the game will lag a bit or something and you'll miss it, but in a normal game, you won't have to worry about it because normally you'll be not lagging enough, hopefully, that you can see it or hear it pop up, which is basically a little notification or the purple smoke or whatever. That way you'll be like, oh yeah, I got this, just turtle stance, and then he can't grab you. It doesn't even matter if it's the boss variant. Yeah, even he can't grab you if you use turtle stance. One of the many things I love about the Barbarian, that you can incorporate into this if you need. Some little dudes are going to throw slows or something like that, or maybe you didn't have the max tenacity, which you could use automation if you don't have it, but that's going to take away from the power of it, so be careful with that. Come on, bud. I don't know, I guess he was afraid. There we go. Now, what I plan to do, the reason why I haven't ended this video yet is that I plan to show you just a little bit more. Yeah, you see, stuff still does get wrecked, but I didn't really care. I didn't make that specifically for the modifiers, and I made it so I always had a disposable one. It's part of the way I do this map. Excuse me. I like having a disposable Skyguard. And I have been known to do the mismatch and use like 1 or 2 Flame Auras and a Skyguard. But what I figured I would show you is with the build, what you can max out to with the same stuff that I have. So, we'll go ahead and max this out just so you can see it. It's 906k, but the attack damage is 5.3 mil, which is pretty nice. If you max this out too, and that brings it up to 5.54. That's why I don't really boost the boost aura. But in this case, if we did, that would boost up to 17.6 mil. So it's pretty great, you know, because we've got the normal one here, 16.7 and 17.6. It's actually kind of funny that way, but but that wasn't intended. So anyway, Skeletal Ramster, obviously these two are going to be really solid choices, especially the Earth Shatter, because the Earth Shatter will often proc the things in your weapon, which in my case are Grave Infection and Frostfire. One's perfect, the other's almost. And that's another reason why I just love Earth Shatters in any build. So we'll go ahead and max this out, and that's 11.7 mil. This little dude here, let's go ahead and tear these down. He comes up to 2.68 mil, and if you're really feeling it, you can always swap over, and maybe you're thinking, there's just no way I have enough damage, so I need to drop a boost aura here. Which obviously you don't have to drop it anywhere near that close, but so it was what, like 11.7 before? 18.9 now. I mean, it may as well be a 20 mil defense. And that one's up to 4.35. So you can see, you can max out pretty hard on some stuff here. But yeah, guys, I mean, honestly, we breezed right through that. Floor 96 was nothing. And that's kind of how it's been in the temple, too. I'll show you guys an update on the build later and all that. But for right now, I just wanted to touch base and show the essentials for this build. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and make sure to go ahead and subscribe, like, and leave me that comment if you feel like it. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time, and God bless.